Yeah, and is it a
I'll
duet?
Okay. Okay.
Start here.
Yeah, for me it is a duet, but it is kind of two very different voices coming in different places, and the production, the structure of the song is very clear in order to put them in different kinds of zones. It's like two accounts of their sort of lonely journeys. Neither of them knew or thought to help the other. So that's where the sort of song structure isolates each one from, even though they're saying the same thing. It's sort of an anti-duet about how they can't be together in the same room, sort of thing. It feels like it's a bit of a therapy session, but like a relationship therapy session. That's what I got the impression of.
Right.
And it's the bit where the therapist gets excited because their whole mission in life to get the moments of like revelation or epiphany and clarity when they go, and just, why didn't you call? Why didn't you call? Like, that's okay. Go on, go over, help him, pat him on the back. He's crying. This is real emotion. This is a moment.
Now, do you want to tell him something? And then she's like, a wild being from birth. My spirit spurns control. That's not what he wants to hear.
Not what he wants to. He doesn't want to hear this. Why didn't you call, though?
It's about him.
What about me?
It's that weakness, that man's weakness. It's almost like going back to Don't Give Up, where he is just letting it all out and being very vulnerable, and then
but in a very sort of like obtuse way, where are you okay? It's like,
yeah, but
it's still doing it. Yeah.
Female voice comes in and is much more controlled and like calming the male down.
Yeah,
like, and these roles are being played out again, aren't they?
Totally.
Like the female as the carer, as the
sort of mothering instinct of like
the mothering instinct.
Yeah, maybe like to calm down. It's okay. But this one is not the most mothering one. I'd say she's kind of
because she's wondering, isn't she?
She's wondering too, and he's like, "Why did you have to be wondering at the same time I was?" But it's like this is that therapy session. I feel like after this one, this is the one where they go home and have like amazing husband and wife sex.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like she's just not quite with it. She's not that bothered. She's somewhere else, I feel. She sings it at the end in a very dispassionate way. It's almost like she's just doing it to support, and I don't know, she doesn't seem into it at the end.
Really?
Oh. I
just thought so. Like she's saying, well, yeah, could have called me.
It's almost a bit of sarcasm.
Really? Okay, I didn't read it. Like I have to listen to it again. But
like, you're pathetic. You're pathetic.
Why didn't you just call me? Yeah, just call me. He definitely plays out this the male, the crumpled male. Yeah.
Well, he's in a crossbow, isn't he? He's crumpled in a crossbow.
He is. It's like caught in the crossbow. It's weird lyric. Like
that's a strange.
Caught in the crossfire. Yes. Crosshairs, yes, but caught in the actual crossbow itself.
Caught in the crossbow, it's like you're stuck in a kind of like wooden channel, like
with like ropes and wood and like. And some
like you tried to pull it back to kind of set it up, and you kind of got your legs stuck in it, and it like then it kind of your head was underneath of one of the arms, and
yeah, I mean it's like it's classic, I guess. Lou Reed, like, is it just like a non sequitur to just throw in just to kind of?
I don't know. Does he do
wake
that?
You up?
I thought he was like super direct with everything. Like he just kind of.
He often throws in like on the Transformer album, he throws in the thing that you don't expect him to say. Like, what's vicious? You're so vicious. You hit me with a flower. There we go.
Right.
But I mean, that's less of a non sequitur because it's like showing him to be less vicious than he is. But maybe he doesn't do that so much. But it's kind of chaotic. He just like going what.
Well, he sounds chaotic while he's singing, doesn't he? He's kind of like getting faster and faster. He's trying to fit all these words in, and he's also kind of crying out for help, isn't he? That's how he seems to be performing these verses. And is he being clever by writing crossbow just because to get you like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Caught in a crossbow. I've never heard that.
Did he just mean to say crossfire?
But then also, Lou Reed is dyslexic. Lou Reed is dyslexic.
Is that how he spells his own name then?
Lou Reed, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because he's dyslexic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because his original name was Lewis,
Yeah.
so Lewis, and he is called Lou, Lou.
Yeah.
So he's changed that along the way. So, mate, I doubt he's dyslexic of his own name. I mean, that's...
Probably not. That would be extreme dyslexia. Absolutely extreme. But, yeah, he could be dyslexic with just, like, lyrics and shit.
Yeah?
But, I meant crossbow, like the crossfire,
Yeah.
He's dyslexic, so stuff comes out weird, and he's like, well...
He's like, fuck it,
keep it, good. Fuck it. Yeah.
I think what's happening is he's kind of writing about or from the characters in Edgar's stories under one main protagonist, which he calls Poe. This character Poe encompasses all the different characters in all of Poe's writings that he might have sourced kind of ideas from.
Interesting.
He is a character. He is singing from a character's perspective. And
on this song?
On all of it.
On all of it?
All of it.
Oh, I just sort of like thought this was... I went really personal with my sort of...
well, that's what I thought
response.
At first.
Yeah.
But then I thought, actually, it's a biography of Edgar Allan Poe, because there's that song that's before this called Edgar Allan Poe, like a Biograblast in his kind of classic Lou Reed rock song style, just like chugging guitars, fitting loads of words in there, hurrying them along, name-checking some short stories and poems and little kind of tidbits. And then I thought, right, maybe he's like mixing it up and saying a few little things about Poe's life that maybe he'll sing about. And then I thought maybe this one that we got to, the duet, was a biographical song about Poe. But no, it's not. Because this was like from an opera that renowned experimental theatre guy Robert Wilson made with Lou in early 2000s. But it wasn't sung by Lou. It was just he wrote the songs and the music. And it was performed by the on-stage actors. And then he got a guy called Hal Willner, who is his producer, who helped him release some stuff later in his career. And he was a specialist in spoken word albums and tribute albums and stuff like this. He did one for Kurt Weill in the 80s, was his first kind of tribute album and event where he got lots of popular people at that time or people that had an interest in free penny opera stuff from the beginning of the century. And he'd just get lots of people to kind of be part of it for the tribute album. And he did another one for Leonard Cohen. And then recently he did one for Mark Bolan, where he's got U2 and Elton John doing Bang a Gong.
Oi, 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 oi.
Yeah.
I really want to hear that. I want to hear Elton with edge guitars.
Well, there you have it. This guy had already released a spoken word album about Edgar Allan Poe with stars such as Marianne Faithfull, Christopher Walken, Iggy Pop, and they would recite poems or short stories over like atmospheric backgrounds. So this is the stuff he's into. So he probably poked Lou and said, look, why don't you just go a bit deeper into this? You've written some music, you've already kind of looked into it. We'll do a huge amount of work on it. And they did like a double album of it.
Shitting hell. I mean, also but there are some songs re-versioned on that album, new versions of The Bed and Perfect Day. Both old songs. The Bed, fuck me, that song is incredible. And this is not a bad version of it. I mean, don't know how it adds that much to the original, but he's obviously repurposing that somehow towards Edgar Allan Poe. But how? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some strange off the kind of program stuff, isn't there? Like that. And there's that Broadway song with Steve Buscemi. That came out of nowhere. What was that?
Is that funny? It's really funny. And there's another one with, it sounds like, what's his name? Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
He does The Raven, doesn't he? Lou Reed's just kind of rewritten, which is what he's done in this album. It's pretty amazing. Quite incredible thing to do, really, isn't it? Like, because he's such a well-renowned and such a well-loved writer, isn't he? And then Lou Reed is like, well, I'll just rewrite it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got to listen to that one again, actually.
I think he's got some Walk on the Wild Side kind of stuff thrown in there. I was wondering about Lou Reed. Has he ever talked about Satanism or anything? And I can't really find anything. But like the second verse is reliving the past of the maddening impulse, violent upheaval, the pure driven instinct, the pure driven murder, the attraction of daring, stand I. And it's like he's going towards his kind of his instincts, which is like a satanic thing, isn't it? It's like, just go for it. Don't worry about it. Just like, that's how you can experience life, is just by doing these extreme things. And so, because I was thinking, is it the like
other self?
Lou within Edgar, within Edgar's characters, like a Russian doll.
Yeah.
No, totally. I know. I couldn't. That's why I couldn't figure out. No, most of Lou's, like, of what I know of Lou, he's quite direct. If he's playing a character, he normally just says that at the start. He's like, Candy says, or Lisa says, or Caroline says.
Andy says. You know.
Andy says, and it's like,
Andy. I love Andy. Like, he always pops up. Andy does.
Well, Andy's his like inspiration, isn't he?
Who is Andy? No, fucking stupid. I just tell me, who's Andy?
Andy Warhol.
Oh my god. But anyway, but Andy isn't always Andy Warhol, is he? Necessarily, he's just like this guy called Andy that probably Andy Warhol is part of that. Andy,
well, if you're thinking of Andy's chest,
there's Andy's chest,
because that's about Andy. That's about Andy Warhol.
It was a man. He did on Transformer. Yeah, there's that, and there's another one from 1990 where he just talks called Work, which he does with the other guy from Velvet Underground.
Oh, from their that was all about Andy Warhol. That whole album.
Right.
Drella.
Okay.
Yeah,
cut the bit where I look totally ignorant there, can't we?
But put this back in. Put this bit back in.
Put this back in. Yeah. I'll leave it all.
They don't know what you're ignorant about.
The thing is, like, this is how much I read into lyrics, like zero normally, except for when I'm doing something like this. Like, I never even bother.
Yeah.
Like, I just go, Andy.
You don't have to. You
don't have to. I'm like, Andy, that's the kind of character. He keeps saying this stuff.
Well,
I just like the way that he names Andy all the time in his songs. I just like it. And that's it.
Who's Andy?
And obviously, I'm aware of the Andy Warhol connection.
Of course, you are.
You know, the factory and stuff.
It's too. It's like it's one of those things that's too obvious that it can't be. It can't be that.
Exactly. It's just big fat signpost. Like just staring at it, going, "That's a nice signpost."
Yeah. I wonder what that's made of.
I wonder what it's made of.
Is it plastic or metal? I've just been hit by a car in the middle of the road. It was a one-way system.
Exactly. You're supposed to read the fucking signpost for us. It's a bit like Andy Warhol's work. You kind of look at it and you just go, "That's a car crash. Cool." I find it difficult to analyse late career work, I think, because my prejudice
of all that history
kind of in the way. Yeah. So you're sort of listening for something new the whole time, and if you don't quite hear it, you don't kind of get switched on.
Then you hear something old instead, and you kind of focus on that, and you think, where did he do that first? And and you start going back. I know what you mean.
Also, like the production like of late career works has that like identikit, like shrink wrapped professionalism. Always characterizes later works from classic artists, because they basically just leave the professionals to do it, and they can't be asked to get involved in the production or like making a sound, or like almost frames it as later work, the sound of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that might be because of the techniques as well, and their voices are not as strong, so they seem to be closer. But then that might be part of the new technology as well that can make things sound a lot closer.
I think it is, but then you get a young person using new technology, they use it differently. Whereas
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have heard, I don't think I've heard any young person use new technology.
Okay.
But
I feel like they're just leaving it to the sound guys to just do it because they just can't be bothered with that shit anymore. And they're just like, I'll make the song. That's fine. That's fine. If you're a young artist at the beginning of your career, like, okay, I want it to be like this and sound like this thing that is great, and I'm going to fuse these together. I'm ambitious, and like, no, we want that hi-hat to be louder, or like, people can tend to get involved in that shit. And when you're older, you just go, song's done, just mix it and then
I don't know. I mean, this is pretty detailed, isn't it? This is like a lot of detail.
The song smithery, totally. And
the different styles, because he's got the actual music where the instrumental, like the overture and stuff like that, sounds fucking amazing.
Yes. Okay, I'll have to go back to that.
But the voices, yeah, I mean, they kind of the production gets a bit more
close, like you said.
Close.
The voice is always closer.
They're so in awe of these people when they come into the studio. Well, who have we done this before? We've done it with McCartney, didn't we? McCartney and George Michael. They have to get every single bit out of that voice.
They squeeze all of it out, don't they? They really do.
And it's like, you don't need anything else.
Exactly.
Because they're big fans. They're massive fans.
They're all going to be big fans. They're all going to say, we don't need too much more. We want the voice in the top, in the front.
Voice will say it all.
You know, whereas like when Bowie's producing Transformer, for instance, they're experimenting sort of with
sounds and stuff.
Sounds, yeah. And Berlin is a concept album with all sorts of like orchestras and fucking sound effects and shit on it. And but this is they're just like, we're just going to bring out the voice.
Well, this song especially, I suppose, because this song is very simple in its arrangement, isn't it? It's just like, is it even a quartet? There's like maybe one or two violins, and then the upright bass, which harks back to Walk on the Wild Side. You instantly think that, and as soon as you hear an upright bass with Lou Reed.
Yeah. If he's going to put one in, I mean, then you're getting referential.
Like you say, they might be just kind of taking a back seat, or they might be totally in control, and because they've done it for so long, they've just cut away to the point where it's like, I don't need much else except for my voice, my words, and my presence. And it's just a little bit here and there to help. But like, really, if I'm singing, I don't want to be singing that loud.
They're tired, they don't want to be like belting it out. Just talk.